Felicitación a Leopards de Dominican Republic de Congo. Episode 13, DR Congo. Now, there's history to this really good country and for this national team. Now, before they were DR Congo, and they were called Zaria or Zaire. They were featured in this World Cup in 1974, which was 52 years ago. And this is this would probably go through, hopefully, on Fox pregame show, and they will probably talk a little more history about the DR Congo name and how their past went from 1974, which was their last World Cup, to where they are right now, and bringing in these younger players, next generation stars in DR Congo to get where they are now. And now here they are in their second World Cup appearance, the first ever in their name as DR Congo. Now again, this is their second appearance, but even though they're DR Congo, there's a lot of history in this country. They went from Zaire, which, by the way, was also it was a name before DR Congo. So really happy for them. Felicitaciones a los Leopards del Dominicana Republic de Congo. Felicitaciones, bravo for them. So, who was their coach? Well, this coach is really someone who has been around in this national team since 2022. It is Sebastian Desbor. Has 29 wins, 8 draws, 11 losses, as he is hoping to get DR Congo something special to get them to the round of 32. Players to watch. When we get to know these nations that have not been in this World Cup for 50 plus years, 60 plus years, or first time since the 2010s era, that kind of stuff. This is special. This is really special for this country. And yeah, the players that we'll be watching a lot is, one of them is Chandelis Mabet, defender from Lille, who is 31 years old. He is one of their best defenders in that national team. I would call him in that national team, and they're gonna need a real good defender because they're in a real good group, which will be really tough to compete in. He's got to show some pride. The player that I do want to see in this year's World Cup is Johan Wissa, the forward from Newcastle. Remember, before he went to Newcastle, he was in Brentford, had scored a lot of good goals with Ivan Toney. But since Ivan Toney left to a Saudi Pro League, he was still scoring goals since the Igor Torgo injury. And then when Igor stepped up, being the new number 9, it was time for Wissa to leave, and he went to Newcastle, which right now he's not doing a lot much in Newcastle because of that injury that he suffered. I believe it was a knee injury. So I think if he is healthy, I think he'll participate in this World Cup. He is 29 years old, so he is getting closer to that 30-year age. Another 30-year-old age, Lionel Mespa, the goalkeeper out of the French league in the League One, 31 years old, and I think he'll be their goalkeeper one. Again, there's the goalkeeper position is really important than what the other positions are, because whoever that goalkeeper one is going to be, it's either that goalkeeper needs to have a great performance in that group, or it's a future bright coming in for DR Congo. So Lionel Mespa, the goalkeeper, has to step up. He is, of course, 31 years old, and I think he'll be a good number 1 goalkeeper for Les Leopards. The player I'm also looking forward to, and I hope he's in this World Cup, Noah Sadiq, midfielder from Sunderland, who's been given the Sunderland club a remarkable season for them to stay up in the Premier League. He's 21 years old. If I were December, I would call him and get him in the national team and be in the World Cup. He is a young, rising player to the representatives of the DR Congo national team or soccer federation. He is the next generation of young talent soccer players. So going over to Group K, they do not start really well because they will take on Cristiano Ronaldo in Portugal. Then they're going to have to take on Luis Diaz and Colombia. And they're going to have to take on Uzbekistan. So there is some questions around this nation. Is this nation the easiest nation to root for fourth place? For me, no. I think the worst scenario would be fourth place because if they lose to both Colombia and Portugal, and let's say Uzbekistan is a draw, they could end up being in fourth place and they may not. Maybe they'll learn from this mistake from this World Cup and move to next time's qualification round. But I got them a better scenario because here's what it would be. Let's say they do lose to Portugal, but they draw it with Colombia and they get a huge win against Uzbekistan. They could be one of the best eight best third place teams. Maybe around 32 is their best scenario. I don't see them going further to the round of 16 because of the youth and those other countries that are really way more better than DR Congo is. They're a young team, players that are getting a little older in that nation, but they are looking for those younger generations who can come in to represent DR Congo and hopefully get to where at least the best scenario for them is the round of 32 to let us know that that nation could make another run back to the World Cup in 2030. All right, that is it for episode 12. That will be DR Congo. Tomorrow's episode will be Croatia, the third place winners from 2022. If you've not seen my other videos, go check them out on my channel. Of course, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for more sports news. If you have not seen my Get to Know Your Nations playlist, go to my account. Go hit that account button. You'll see a playlist that shows Get to Your Nations. If you haven't caught up with any of your nations, go ahead and start that right now.